Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to part 5 of our top-down Miami tutorial series. Today I think we're going to add a few things actually. Let's start with a roof. I always like the effect of adding a roof that kind of fades out. So we'll just go to our top-down shooter pack from Kenny.nl, go to PNG, go to tiles, and we're actually going to scroll down to tile 456. Alright, so now we have a tile here, and sorry, allergies are acting up. We're going to drag this tile into the side to create an actor. So now we have an actor, and we're going to call this actor roof. And later on in Photoshop, we could of course clean this up because it's not going to stretch gracefully. But we can, they gave us all the sides to this, so we can actually create it to look clean and not so blurry on the edges. But I don't mind that it looks a little blurry. It looks fine right there. So we place it and stretch it out over our building. However, when we hit play, we stop, we can go in, but we can't see where our player is, right? So we need to make that disappear. So if we go to our roof, we can go ahead and say, create a rule, and we'll say if we're colliding with the player, then in the do section, we want to interpolate. Interpolate is going to slowly change something from one number to the other. So interpolate, and we're going to choose our roof's alpha. So we'll go to attributes, roof, color, alpha. That's the transparency. We're going to say go to 0 over the course of 1 second. Now this is going to make the roof disappear, but it's not going to come back. So in the else section, we're going to type in interpolate and say if we're not touching it, move the alpha back to 1. So attributes, roof, color, alpha, and set it to 1. And let's test this out. So if I go in, our roof disappears, and if I go out, our roof reappears, which I think is a pretty cool effect. I really like that. You might even want to move the roof back a little bit so you can see where the door is. Maybe like that, so you can see the door right there. Or you could create a little placemat or something if you wanted to, but that is a cool feature. I like that. Alright. So what else do we need to add? How about an enemy? Let's make an enemy. So let's go to the graphics at the plus sign. And we're going to go ahead and go to our PNG folder and choose zombie. And I'm going to choose a zombie with his hands forward, so it's kind of like walking like a mummy or something. And I'll create an actor for that zombie. And we're going to call this actor zombie. Alright, and our zombie needs to know where our player is. So we need to go into our player and send our player's X and Y position into our game attributes so that they can be accessed anywhere. So we're going to make, we're going to hit the plus sign, and we're going to make an integer and call this player X. And we'll make another one, integer, we're going to call this player Y. And then in our player, we're going to do a constrain attribute, and we're going to choose, we're going to constrain the game's player X to whatever our player's position X is. And we're going to do that same thing for Y, so we can copy and paste it. But we're going to choose attributes, game, player Y. And then over here, we're going to choose attributes, player, position Y. Alright, and now for our zombie, we can make the zombie move towards the player, and we have to make the zombie point towards the player. Alright, so now we need to make our zombie rotate towards the player. So we're going to use a change attribute. Actually, no, we're not going to use change. We're going to use constrain attribute. Constrain attribute. And the attribute we're going to constrain is our zombie's rotation. And what we want to set that to is a vector to angle function. So we're going to go to functions and choose vector to angle. And this is going to translate the two positions from X and Y to figure out what angle the zombie has to go towards to basically follow the player. So for the X, we're going to get rid of the X right there, and we're going to go to attributes, game, player X. And for Y, we're going to get rid of Y and choose player Y. Now we're going to go to our zombie and go to position, and right after player X, we're going to put minus and choose position X. And right after Y, we're going to put minus position Y. This isn't going to work right away. It might have to change some of it. Oh no, it looks like it actually is already facing perfectly. So now our zombie is always facing our player. Cool. And now we want to make our zombie be able to walk. So all we have to do is type in move, and we can test what direction he's moving. Good. And he is chasing me down. So that is way too fast, but he's obviously chasing pretty well. So let's go back and set the speed to maybe 25 and see if that's a little better. Yeah, so there's a zombie that's walking at more of a zombie pace. You can obviously change this to anything you'd like, but now we have a moving zombie. We also need to make sure that our zombie collides into things, because we want to be able to make him run into, or have our guy run into a wall and have the zombie not know how to get in, or anything like that. So we're going to go to our zombie actor and go into physics and make sure that our bounciness is set to 0. And then we're going to make our collision shape a circle. And we're going to say that he collides with the walls. He collides with the player. And what else should he collide with? That's about it. So let's hit play. And now he'll walk towards us. I can go in here. He's walking towards me, but he can't get in. He's stuck. He can't get in. So now he's coming this way. And if he runs into me, he's actually pushing me, and that's kind of cool because it's like kind of a feedback or game feel. You might want to even add a little bit more speed, I guess. You can put this up to 50. Yeah, that's good. So now we have a zombie. We also want to make the zombie take damage. So let's go back to our editor, and we're going to say that our zombie has a new attribute. We're going to add an attribute, integer, and call this HP. And we'll say that a zombie can take 4 hits before he goes down. So we'll make a new rule that says attribute, and we're going to put attribute if our zombie's HP is equal to 0. We could even choose less than or equal to 0. Then destroy. And we can change this to a zombie laying on the floor, or an animation of him like dying or something like that later. But for now, it'll just disappear if his health is below 0. And then we need a new rule that says if our zombie collides with a projectile, then we need to change an attribute, and we're going to change our zombie's HP to our zombie's HP -1. And then we want our projectile to disappear. So in our projectile, we're going to add a rule that says if we collide with zombie, then destroy. So the bullet will disappear. So let's try this out. So we have a zombie there. I can shoot him 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and he's gone. I just killed that zombie. Pretty cool, man. I'll think of what else to add to this. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. And thank you very much. Have a great day. Peace.